Bellarmine University's third president, Dr. Joseph J. McGowan, spoke some words of paradox in his inaugural address many years ago. While Bellarmine is very young, it has had a long history. That phrase sounds so strange that it would make baseball's madcap Yogi Berra proud. But the words are true. Bellarmine was founded as a men's college at exactly the middle of the 20th century in 1950 by the Archdiocese of Louisville and named for 17th century Jesuit cardinal and scholar Saint Robert Bellarmine. At one point in its first year, located in a single building, the school's very future was in doubt. The Korean War draft had taken many of its students into military service, and the bank account contained only $200. But today, Bellarmine is a thriving university of nearly 4,000 students, over 175 full-time faculty, and some 30 buildings. Its president, Dr. Susan Donovan, presides over a coeducational institution consisting of 2 colleges and 7 schools. It welcomes students, faculty, and staff from a cross-section of backgrounds and beliefs, nationalities, and majors, and enrollment growth has been steady, with students coming from across the region and the nation, as well as from foreign countries. There are over 1,000 student residents on campus. How did it all come about? Well, the roots are deep indeed. For openers, there's the tradition of the earliest universities in the West. They emerged from Catholic culture in the Middle Ages, creative centers of faith and honest search, often in urban settings with a wide diversity of students and subjects. That heritage was in play when the Catholic Diocese of Bardstown, the oldest in inland America, founded 2 colleges in Kentucky in the 1820s. These were among some of the earliest in the Midwest and Upper South. The headquarters of that innovative diocese, by the way, moved to the rapidly growing city of Louisville in 1841. These 2 Kentucky institutions were our direct predecessors. St. Joseph's at Bardstown in 1820, and then St. Mary's near the town of Lebanon in 1821. Even then, they served a wide variety of faiths. Both are now long gone, but in their day, they produced quite a group of graduates who came mostly from throughout the South. Among their number were an impressive lot who were to become governors, national cabinet ministers, congressmen, 1 U.S. senator, 1 attorney general, and 1 Supreme Court justice. Both colleges were run by the Jesuits at one point in their histories. St. Joseph's would close for a time due to the Civil War, and its main building, still standing today, served as a hospital for the wounded of both the blue and the gray. St. Mary's had lively sports teams and hosted such speakers of the age as William Jennings Bryan. It also survived an attempt by students to burn the college down. When Bellarmine was established in 1950, it would be the diocese's 3rd venture in the founding of a college. Starting to see what we mean by a young school with a long history? In addition, Bellarmine has had a special partner over the years. Louisville's Ursuline College was begun by the Ursuline sisters as a junior college. These sisters represented a 400-year tradition of excellence in education. Their Louisville institution would emerge as a four-year institution in 1938, complete with top-rate academic programs and a wide range of majors. In 1968, Ursuline and Bellarmine merged onto the Newburgh Road campus in Louisville's Highlands as Bellarmine Ursuline College, becoming known as Bellarmine College from 1971 forward. The Highlands make a terrific area for a university campus, a pleasant residential area. It is now also known for its energetic blend of shops, restaurants, and eccentricities. It's about 10 minutes from downtown Louisville, this Kentucky's largest city with a metro population well over 1 million. It is known for its lively culture, commerce, and cosmopolitan scene, and sports venues, not to mention preservation, horses, bourbon, and baseball bats. Louisville has been called a quirky city by the New York Times, while the New Yorker magazine acclaimed it as a place of tolerance, intelligence, and common sense. The city designates itself as a compassionate city. How about a little more of that long history? Take the property where Bellarmine sits atop three beautiful hills in the outer bounds of Kentucky's bluegrass. From the early 19th century up until Bellarmine construction began on New Year's Eve, 1949, this land was home to 7 successive institutions. There is no time here to tell the deep range of human histories, 7 stories, as it were, of life on this land over so many generations. A Civil War hospital for eruptive cases, a bishop's home, 2 seminaries, and 2 orphanages. A long history? Absolutely. Bellarmine itself opened in October 1950 with 1 lone building, today's Pasteur Hall, and 115 students. Its collegiate motto would be the Latin phrase in veritatis amore, in the love of truth. On opening day, doors were still not attached to their hinges, and it was said there were more workmen than faculty on campus. In its first year, the young college initiated a newspaper, The Concord, still published today as an independent student enterprise. And the strong tradition of Bellarmine sports began with the development of a basketball team, today known as the Knights, with their first game being played against St. Mary's, the second of the Bellarmine predecessors. Even though the new school lost, something like a torch was passed. By the way, in 1956, a young senator named John F. Kennedy made a short visit to the campus, 23 minutes by actual account. By the end of the 1950s, only 3 buildings stood on the campus, including Newman Hall, first of the residence halls. The school would always have on its faculty particularly revered figures deeply admired by students. One of these hired in the early days and would be on the staff for over half a century, Dr. Margaret Mahoney, Montana Maggie, a history professor who once slipped and fell over in class. As students rushed to pick her up, she continued lecturing from the floor. In the 1960s, the founding president, Father Alfred Horrigan, remained in office, as did the first dean, Franciscan Father John Loftus. Both made a profound impact on the campus as champions of social justice and civil rights. They also stood with those who opposed the war in Vietnam, while respecting the voices of those who strongly felt otherwise. These 2 seminal academic leaders would also be responsible for encouraging their friend, Thomas Merton, to commit the major part of his extensive personal archives and papers to the college. This is the nucleus of what is now an international center on campus. Merton, the famous Trappist monk at nearby Gethsemane Abbey, would become a major literary phenomenon for his writing in such areas as spirituality, Eastern religions, ecumenism, peace, and social justice. In 2015, Pope Francis saluted Merton as one of 4 great American spiritual leaders when he spoke to a joint session of Congress. The Merton spirit continues to inform the university's values and mission statement to this day. With the Ursuline merger of 1968, Bellarmine not only became co-ed, but it got a new board of trustees with a much wider reach into the community at large, making it more diverse and interfaith as well. After a period of financial and enrollment stress, the college began a steady advance by the later 1970s. A new president, Dr. Eugene Petrick, was at the helm. It was he who would begin an MBA program in 1975, beginning the institution's extensive development of graduate programs. Also in these years, the tradition of Bellarmine hosting visitors of national and international significance advanced apace. Such luminaries generally were able not only to deliver major addresses for the Louisville public at large, but also to spend special time with students on campus. Here is but a partial listing of the cavalcade. Walter Cronkite, Ken Burns, Jesse Jackson, William F. Buckley, Wendell Berry, Lionel Hampton, Norman Mailer, Dorothy Day, Salman Rushdie, Joyce Carol Oates, Seamus Haney, Jesse Owens, Barbara Kingsolver, E.O. Wilson, Mother Teresa, and for good measure, the Grateful Dead. Each of the presidents of Bellarmine has left a decided mark on the landscape and design of this remarkable campus. Horrigan, at the beginning, insisted on fleet modern design for the buildings. He wanted to signal that the school was in touch with a post-war modern functional world. Petrick, a scientist, was responsible for the central quadrangle and its rows of columns built in the 1980s. Notice the angularity, the precision, and the linear with the exploded cube sculpture in the midst of it all. When the next president, Joseph J. McGowan, arrived in 1990, he was particularly determined to build a strikingly new state-of-the-art library. Once this was completed, the whimsical and imaginative McGowan would not only expand the number of buildings and academic programs, he determined that the campus should take on the look of the hillside towns of Tuscany, St. Robert Bellarmine's home turf. No portion of the grounds reflect this venture better than the 4 Siena residence halls, complete with waterfall and a piazza standing before the striking Our Lady of the Woods Chapel, which opened in 2001. After years of besting Ivy League schools in the mock trial team competitions, the Bellarmine team won the prestigious national championship in 1999. Meanwhile, those other teams, the sports teams, continued to loom large at Bellarmine, both for men and women. In 2011, the Knights captured the NCAA Division II Men's National Basketball Championship. And in 2015, the university's dance team captured first prize in the National Dance Alliance Division II competition. A wide range of athletic offerings are in place, the most recent addition being wrestling. Over the years, the number of undergraduate majors, institutes, and graduate programs grew at an explosive rate. By 2000, the 50th anniversary year of Bellarmine, it was clear that the institution had attained university status, and so the name was changed to reflect the reality: Bellarmine University. In 2016, President Jay McGowan died suddenly, shortly after he had witnessed the dedication of St. Robert's Gate, which he had envisioned, and shortly, too, after he had been present for the groundbreaking of Bellarmine Centro, the curvaceous structure that wraps around Old Horrigan Hall and now commands the university's Central Hill. This, too, was a McGowan project, and a major part of the building now bears his name. Dr. Susan Donovan was named the school's first woman president in 2017 and now leads a lively campus and community. Along with some 22,000 alums who call Bellarmine their old Kentucky home, they are eager to find a future built upon that long history and that mighty past.